So, finally, I'd like to share one other point with you, and then we'll open this up for discussion. And that is the role of ritual. Because really, you talk about creativity and art, I consider ritual to be the art of arts. Because true ritual brings together the creativity of the tribe, the creativity of the community. It's not about something canned that one person knows how to do and the rest of us kneel and do what we're told about. No. The word liturgy in Greek means the work of the people, not the work of a canned system. So, you know, when the Pope fired me about 10 years ago, I did an Aikido move and became an Episcopal priest, an Anglican priest, for one reason and one reason only. Not because I'm enamored of Anglicanism, although I will give them some credit for orthopraxis, because at least they ordain women and admit they ordain gay people, and they have women bishops, so I'll give them credit for that. But the point is that the reason I did this is that I finished my book on the reinvention of work right when the Pope was firing me. It was pretty well timed, actually. I had to reinvent my work. But the last chapter is on reinventing ritual, because I really do believe that ritual is a shortcut for humans to get moving, to wake up, to come out of ignorance, ignoring, and denial, and to become empowered. And of course, as Malodome Some teaches, the African spiritual teacher, there is no community without ritual, he says. So community is one of those 10 C's. If we're serious about community, and we certainly should be today, community at many levels, we've got to be serious again about ritual. But not, I wouldn't say serious, I say playful. We've got to be imaginative again about ritual. And it happened that 5 young Anglicans from Sheffield, England, flew out to California, well, actually to Washington, Seattle, where I was doing a workshop at that time. And they told me about how they were taking rave, which is, you know, is all-night dancing to go into trance. And they had brought her into the liturgy in the Anglican Church. And I thought, now this is something. This is just what I was writing about in my book. Real ritual has to include the body. And it's got to include imagination. So I flew to Sheffield to see what they were doing, and I was very impressed, etc., etc. To make a long story short, that's where I became an Anglican, and I went to the Episcopal bishop, since the Pope didn't need me anymore, that was obvious. And I said, I want to do this, but only to work with young people to reinvent ritual, and he said, go for it. So we've been creating what we call the Cosmic Mass, or now just, the Cosmic Mass, or Techno-Cosmic Mass, for 9 years. We've done over, I think, 90 of them now. Many in Oakland, but in other cities as well. And we've been training others to do them around North America. And to be perfectly honest, I would love nothing more than Dubliners to get hold of this. I think it would be really exciting to be doing this in Ireland, because you people would get it, what it's about. So what happened last year, Canadian television came and filmed our Mass, and they created this 14-minute piece that they showed on Canadian television. And I want to show it to you so you get a feeling for what we're about. Because you must understand, you know, that ritual is part of education. All indigenous people know this. And it's been left out. And that's why we don't get a picture of the whole. We don't think cosmologically, because we've been told that learning is about just your eyes and pages, lots of pages. And no. Ritual is a perfectly organic way to learn. And it's delightful, it's joyful, it's also serious and deep. A lot of healings, a lot of grief work. We always do grief work in our ritual, and so forth. But I want to share this with you then. This is the piece done in the Cosmic Mass a year ago.
And you bring me joy.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. The forms in which we're doing worship are deadly. They have us praying from the neck up. They have us reading books, getting the text right, getting the musical note right. Eyes on a page are not the way to really open the heart up. I've often said, you know, if you want to do a good deed in a church, you just sneak in Saturday night with screwdrivers, remove those benches, and give people an opportunity to dance the next morning on Sunday, and you would have your awakening.
Is this man a brilliant theologian or a heretic? In 1987, Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, now Pope Benedict, cited Matthew Fox's work as dangerous and deviant.
We are living through the most corrupt time in the Catholic Church since the Borgias, and the press is afraid to talk about it.
Fox was officially silenced by the Vatican, and in 1993, he was expelled from the Dominican order. At that time, Matthew Fox had been a priest in good standing for over 25 years and was the most read Catholic theologian in North America. After his expulsion, Fox joined the Episcopal Church and turned his efforts to the reinvention of ritual in worship. And this is Fox's idea of worship. The year that Matthew Fox was expelled, he went to England to witness his first rave mass. Fox saw young people using technology in the service of worship and ritual, and he returned home to North America, inspired to do the same.
The essence of rave is dancing, celebrating, community, music, and using technology for this purpose. We borrowed some of the basic ideas, and then we developed it in a more American way. Instead of calling it the planetary mass, we called it the technocosmic mass.
The theology that informs the cosmic mass is the creation spiritual tradition, which is at the heart of Matthew Fox's work.
Creation spirituality begins with the theology of original blessing instead of original sin. You came into the world as a real expression of divinity and as something beautiful and yearning to connect with others and including with the Creator. The cosmic Christ theology is also a big part of our cosmic mass. It teaches that the Christ, that is the image of God, is present in every being in the universe. This allows you a much broader canvas in which to paint your worship.
2005 was an important year in the history of the Cosmic Mass. The University of Creation Spirituality, located in Oakland, California, invited students from all over North America to learn how to create a cosmic mass in their own communities.
It's really thrilling to see so many of you, and already I've heard that the energy is very high and deep. I really feel that this whole intensive represents a whole new moment in the history of the cosmic mass, training a new generation, people like yourselves, so that you can take it back to your communities.
The richness of this needs to be spread, and if I can be a channel or an opportunity to help that happen, I'm very willing.
We need to do something to renew worship, to renew liturgy, to make it more meaningful.
Continuing the nonviolent revolution of recreating ritual and work and education is what we're about.
The training is built around the 4 paths of creation spirituality.
We found that when you deconstruct the traditional liturgy of the West, lo and behold, you end up with the 4 paths of creation spirituality. The Via Positiva, which is a path of celebration and wonder and awe, delight and joy. The Via Negativa, which is a path of darkness and silence and letting go and grieving. And the Via Creativa, which is a path of creativity. And finally, the Via Transformativa, the path of social justice and compassion. And it is this structure of creation spirituality, the 4 paths, that is the backbone structure to all of our cosmic masses. The 4 paths of creation spirituality really assist us in deepening the worship experience.
Matthew Fox speaks of the cosmic mass as worship for a postmodern world. It's a ritual that combines technology with pre-modern forms of prayer like dance and chanting.
And that's one of the most important things we're doing. We're taking the computer cyberspace revolution into sacred space and time.
I see the images that we're capable of producing to be like the 12th century revolution of stained glass windows. Today, they're like dancing stained glass windows.
Each cosmic mass is created around a specific theme. Over the last decade, the community has celebrated dozens of different masses, the Kabbalah, the Goddess, and Celtic wisdom, to name a few.
We try to choose themes that are universal in the sense that they affect the archetypes of the human consciousness and human communities.
The students will create a mass entitled Holy Inebriation, Drinking from the Source.
So you're seeing it pretty empty right now, obviously, which is the way you'll walk into any venue that you're going to do a production in.
As Melodome Misomi, the African spiritual teacher, says, there is no community without ritual. We have to make living again our rituals. And that's what the Cosmic Mass is about. To try to invigorate community again.
And I know you've been getting a lot of information over the last 24 hours. How long have you been doing this?
Several blocks from the University of Creation Spirituality campus is the historic Sweets Ballroom, which has been the home of the Cosmic Mass for many years.
Want it down. Okay.
Late on Sunday afternoon, the preparations are almost complete, and the first people begin to arrive.
What brought me here is a quest for more understanding of spirituality.
To me, it's the science of inducing or supporting people in a transformational experience.
I expect a lot of surprises.
Magic. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
And more the merrier.
There should be an entrance into the mysteries of life, including the mysteries of joy and wonder and beauty and awe, but also the mysteries of grief and suffering and forgiveness and pain. All those mysteries we try to usher people into in our cosmic masses.
May I greet you with water?
Thank you. We don't realize how primal ritual is for our species. For tens of thousands of years, ritual was the primary educational moment for young people and for others in the community. The story we're celebrating is the story of how human beings got here, the 14 billion year story of creation.
Stand in front of you, take the force of the blow, protection.
And remember, we're all here to pray, no matter what your tradition is. I know there are Buddhists here tonight. I know that there are pagans here tonight. I know there are Jewish people tonight. I know there are Christian people tonight. We want you to be at ease. When I'm finished with this simple welcome, we'll have the 4 directions to open the sacred space in a formal way.
Evamastu swaha. Evamastu swaha. And allow your breath to invoke the power and presence of the spirits and guardians of the north and bring that energy down through your body, allowing your breath to take the roots down into the earth and to open you to the magnificence and the beauty of all of the gifts of Gaia, our beloved home.
The
baseline pressure.
The first part of the Mass which is celebrated is the Via Positiva. This is the experience of awe, wonder, and gratitude.
The beginning of the Mass is about beauty everywhere. This is a great work of opening the soul up.
And you bring me love. And you bring me
We're all hungry for ritual today. When you look out at people dancing in all these ages and all these interpretations of the music, it's just a forest of beauty. What can come out of this except something good?
And listen to the sorrow or the emptiness, the sadness, whatever it is that you need to let go of.
The community is then transitioned into the Via Negativa, the experience of darkness and grieving.
Let that pain out.
Many times when people have attended the Mass, they've told me afterwards, well, they love this, they love that. But the thing that most hits them is the Via Negativa. Our Cosmic Mass always includes a grieving dimension. Until we grieve, we're blocked up. You have to create a safe space where people can let their stuff out.
Communion is celebrated during the Via Creativa.
The word liturgy comes from the Greek for work of the people. If it's one thing a Cosmic Mass is, it is work of the people.
So in eating this bread and drinking this drink, let us call on the glory of the divine, the goddess immanent in all things, the Buddha nature, the cosmic Christ.
Bodies ferment in these barrels.
I think worship is an effort to bring the community together to honor our existence and not take it for granted.
Is our own blood.
The Mass concludes with the Via Transformativa, the celebration of justice and compassion.
Being a mystic is not enough. You also have to take that energy into service, into the community. And so the prophet needs strong worship and ritual to feed his or her soul.
Let's face the real issues of our time, which are about the extinction of all the other species and the way we're doing away with this precious nest that is our home. Let's do it in artistic, aesthetic context, the ritual is, because you get empowered to do something about it. And that's where stirring up the community to empower it to be a prophetic community, all that can happen and has to happen in ritual.
That's what a religious experience should be like.
The inclusion of so many cultures, the inclusion of so many spirits, Native American and right up to modern times,
You know, I've done a lot of worship experiences. I've been in Indian ashrams, I've gone to temples, I've gone to Catholic masses, and, everything, and this was like it.
So much worship in the West, I think, is dead, boring. That's why people vote with their feet. They're not there because they don't find it transformative. We can do much better. There's a specific structure and flow to the Cosmic Mass. It's really based on the four paths of creation spirituality. Our first experience of the mystical is our awe and our wonder and our praise, therefore. So the beginning of the Mass is that we have a big praise dance. This is what we call the Via Negativa, or the grieving together. And of course, our species has a lot to grieve today with what we've done to the planet and what we do to one another. And we all carry wounds. So it's very important that we grieve together. Then we do come out of the grief with a cleansing, a purification of our souls. That is a sharing of food in a sacred context. And then the Cosmic Mass ends with what we call the Via Transformativa dance, which is the dance of warriorhood. We have to get strong to leave the ceremony and go back to where we work and where we interact in community and family and as citizens. So you have to be strong, you have to be warrior-like to bring this good news of compassion and justice back into the world. Cosmic Mass is the work of many people, and I'm proud to say that today it's the work of a younger generation working with people of other generations together. And that work of intergenerational wisdom is needed today across the board, not just in putting on ritual, but everywhere in our culture. Melodomi Soma says that there is no community without ritual. So that's why the Cosmic Mass is so important today. Either we get ritual exciting again, and powerful again, and empowering again, or we will never have community. So the Cosmic Mass is part of the quest for community today. So that's exactly what the Cosmic Mass is meant to be, a vessel where we can recover the deeper meaning of community. This is what the Cosmic Mass is about bringing artists together and diverse peoples and ages to pray. That means to get into the heart, our own hearts, but also the heart of our communities. See, that's the power of ritual, that it takes you into your body and into your cells and molecules, out of just our heads. This is a big part of the Cosmic Mass, getting out of our heads and into our lower chakras. And this is what makes it postmodern, because this is how the pre-modern peoples prayed. Indigenous people don't pray with a book in their hands. Ooh, what page are we on? What page are we on? You pray with your heart, and your heart's in the body. And so, returning to our lower chakras and dancing to pray is at the very heart of the Cosmic Mass. And it's at the very heart of what's needed in the world, because we can rationalize and sit in our heads forever until we die, until we're buried. And that's not going to solve anything.